mean, she honest with you, man. She's a
Bad things, fine as hell, thick as fuck. Oh my god, that's my baby, Caroline.
Hello everyone, what's good, what's poppin'? It's your girl Caroline and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm doing a start to finish install on a closure unit from Alipearl hair company. I'm going to show you guys all the work that I had to do to turn the wig from this right out of the box to this, giving straight out of the scalp. Like, ooh, this hair gives me all the vibes, and it's a closure, so it's super beginner friendly. With that said, let's hop right into today's tutorial. The first step on our customization journey is bleaching the knots on the wig. As you can see right here, those little black dots at the base of the lace are the knots in which we are going to be using a bleaching solution to turn it from a dark color to a much lighter color, so it can look like it's coming more out of our scalp, less coming out of a wig. You get me? These are the supplies I'll be using to help me bleach my unit. I have my BW powder. I'll be mixing this in with a 20 volume developer, and of course I have my standard mixing bowl with a regular mixing hair brush, I don't know what to call these, to help me tone the knots. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be using a blue and a purple pigmented shampoo. Now let's get into mixing our bleaching solution. So my major tip I can give you guys here, if you're a beginner, when you are mixing in your developer with your bleaching solution, pour it in gently. It is not a 1-to-1 ratio because you have to get the consistency of this mixture right, or you will end up over bleaching your knots or just honestly ruining your whole frontal, because now the whole thing is blonde. We just want the knots at the bottom to be blonde. So I like to just pour in gently, stir it up, and once I get it to the right consistency, which I'm going for a creamy, I guess, cold frosting. If you ever had frosting in the fridge type of texture, it's still spreadable and creamy. At the same time, it's not cakey, and it's not like running off your whatever you're using to mix. And my other tip is when you're mixing, use something plastic, wooden. It can be a hair mixing brush like I'm using. Just don't use anything metal because it will cause the hair to react really fast. Here I'm just spraying the hair with some hairspray to help me push everything back, because the last thing I need right now is to get bleach on the front of like the actual hair. So make sure you are pushing everything back to help prevent, you know, getting any bleach on the actual hair. I like to apply my bleach with my wig facing upside down. I've tried the whole have it flipped inside out on a wig head, but I feel like for me, I'm too clumsy for that, and I always end up over bleaching my knots and pushing the bleach too far. So I just lay it face down, ass up like this. Here I'm going in with this wooden popsicle stick to help me spread the bleaching solution, and I like to start from the back to the front, kind of like when you've ever done a relaxer, you start from the back because the back is usually the coarsest. Usually in wigs, the knots are usually the darkest and the biggest in the back, so I start from the back so that way the back can process. How many times have I said back? Damn. So that way the back of the wig can process, and then I just work my way up to the front. Here I'm just kind of showing you guys that I always do take a little stop and check to flip my wig over to make sure I'm not applying too much pressure and that I haven't pushed the bleach too far up into the hair. Once I've made sure all the knots have been covered with the bleach, I'm just gonna go ahead and get some foil paper and put this under the wig gently, because trust me, if you press the foil paper too hard, you're also pushing the bleach too hard. The foil just kind of helps the reaction time be faster. Now I'm gonna leave the wig to sit, and I never give you guys exactly how long I let the wig sit for bleaching because every hair is different. A lot of factors will affect it. Today I was using a 20 volume developer, so it was much slower than my typical 40 and 30 volume developers. but I'll just say set a 10-minute timer and keep checking on the hair till you see it lighten to a blondish type of color. So here is a before, and this is how the wig was looking about 35 minutes after. As you can see, the knots are giving very much Donald Trump, orange, bright. In hindsight, I probably would have let the wig sit for longer because I like to go for a more orange yellowy color. This is very much more of a copper penny blonde, but in hindsight it's okay. So to help me just tone away all that very orangey color, I am using a blue pigmented shampoo that came in this set that I got from Amazon that included the blue and the purple shampoo. For the longest, I've always used purple shimmer light shampoo to help me tone my knots when I bleach my wigs, but I was doing some research and realized that blue actually cancels out orange and purple cancels out yellow. So this wig was definitely giving more of a orange color, so I used the blue. I let that sit on the wig for about like 10 minutes, making sure I lather it onto the knots, and then I washed that off. I did go ahead and still use the purple shampoo after using the blue just to see if it's going to make any big difference, and it kind of did take away some of the few knots that had a yellow tint to it. Damn, you can see the knots are looking a whole less Donald Trump and giving, you know, scalp. I gotta leave that man alone. He's not even our president anymore. Let me leave him alone. But no rest for the wicked. Anyways, here I'm just showing you guys that I am washing the rest of the hair out with some what's it called again? Jeez. This silicone mix and a little bit of this deep conditioner. I was basically I had to shake that bottle to get the few drops that I had left. But I just went ahead and washed the hair out and let the hair air dry overnight because I like to pluck my wigs when they are dry. I don't like plucking wet. So I will see you guys the next day once the hair has fully air dried. A few days later, well actually more like the next day, but you know what I mean. So here I'm just placing my wig on my canvas head, and under my wig is the white tissue paper that comes with your hair in the packaging. I like to place this on my canvas head so I can have something white to pluck on. Having something white to pluck on just helps me see the knots a whole lot better. First thing first, I'm just gonna go ahead and just part my hair right down in the middle. This helps me just, you know, work in sections as well as not pluck right in the middle, because plucking in the middle just ruins your middle part. It's okay for any other part, but the middle part, if you pluck in the middle, I feel like you just can't go back. I mean, you can, but it's just annoying. Here I'm using my hot comb that's super duper hot, and I'm just using that to help push back the hairline so I can see exactly what I'm working with. So here is the tool I'm going to be using to pluck. This is my Revlon series Slant tip tweezer. You can use any tweezer, but I feel like for me Slant tip works the best, specifically this one. I feel like it lasts me the longest. It grabs my hair pretty well without being too sharp and poking holes in my lace. Once I have my hair nice and prepped, I'm just pulling out that first line of hair that is the most pre-plucked, because I like to pluck behind my hairline and save the front for last to help me prevent having too many bald spots, and also help preserve me some baby hairs to use later. So for my plucking technique, I just like to go in a dragging, pulling back motion, and I like to pull the hair from the root without being, you know, too aggressive and pulling a hole in the lace. And another thing is, when it comes to plucking, is I pluck a place, skip a space, pluck a place, because skip a space. Like I'm creating little gaps in between each section of hair as I'm going down. I try not to pluck in the same space. The more you do it, the more it makes sense. I always just look at like reference photos to help me kind of just see what I'm going for. I do have lots of more detailed tutorials where I go in depth even more and talk even more on plucking if you want something more detailed. At this point, I feel like, you know, I've said all I can say, but when I do have a new updated plucking method, trust me, it'll be just as in depth. But generally, the whole point of plucking is to just help you thin out the hairline to make it look like your actual natural hairline. Because if you look at a normal natural hairline, it's not fully dense, especially starting from the front. it goes from thinner to thicker as you go deeper into the hairline. Speaking of going deeper into the hairline, once I've plucked like the front section, my tweezer is kind of more going back into the hairline and just kind of thinning that out as well. I'm not just continuously plucking the front. Once I've finished thinning out the hairline to my liking, and again, less is more when it comes to installs, you can always pluck more once you install the wig and feel like you need to pluck more, so don't feel like you need to go ham on your first going mannequin head. Anyways, so once I'm done plucking, I push all the hair back to the front, get my hot comb again to help push everything back so I can see everything, and then this is when I do just like the little bit of plucking to the front, just to, you know, thin it out and give it the look that I'm going for. And that is basically how I, you know, do my plucking. I love working with closures because they're so easy to pluck, and this literally took me 15 minutes, and then in total both sides 30 minutes, super quick and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side off camera, and we'll be ready to, you know, install. But here you go. You see that nicely thinned out plucked hairline. It's giving scalp, at least my scalp, because I do have a bit of a thin hairline, if I'm being honest. I did pluck a little bit too much in the back, but thank goodness I didn't over pluck in the front, which is why I like to pluck the front last. But it's okay, we all over pluck a little bit. Okay, here's me again, lovely, and let's finally get into installing this wig. Okay, we've bleached the knots, we've plucked the hairline, she's ready. Real quick, right before I finally put this wig on my head, I am tinting the lace with my concealer. That is the exact shade match. This is the e.l.f. HD concealer. It's like $7. Love her in the shade Cinnamon. I'm just going ahead and buffing this onto the underside of the lace, so that way it can, you know, really be my perfect, or as perfect as one can be, match. As far as to bald cap or not to bald cap, I do not do a bald cap method. All I do is wear any color wig cap, black, nude, brown, whatever it may be. I just wear wig caps to help protect my braids from getting caught on the clips on the wig. But to make sure it's not showing under the lace, I do like to make sure I'm pushing my wig cap back so just the front of my hairline is showing. I swear my filming equipment is in cahoots with me. Like my camera, my memory card, my own it be your own niggas, you know. Anyways, I kind of lost a clip of me showing you guys how I use my Ebin lace spray to spray down my lace. So here is a reference clip for a different wig. It's all the same thing. I'm just going ahead and spraying that on the front of the hairline and using my finger to help spread that product around to help avoid any cakiness. And then I'm going in with my blow dryer on a cool setting and a rat tail comb to help just, you know, push all of that in and get everything nice and stuck and laid. Now that my lace is nice and stuck down, I'm going in with my little cuticle, and when I say cuticle, I do mean nail cuticle scissors. These little nail cuticle scissors, and I'm using this to just kind of help cut in a jagged up and down motion and cut off the lace. You want to do a jagged up and down motion versus just cutting straight across, because this helps the lace lay more naturally over your head instead of looking very stiff and wiggy with a straight cut across your head. A lot of times with my lace cutting process, the lace starts to lift and I get this little white cast, and all I have to do is just spray some Ebin lace spray onto the edge of my rat tail comb and just push that back into the lace where everything is sticking up. Then ensure everything is nice and lifted. I'm just gonna go ahead and get my elastic band. This is a regular wig elastic band you can get from Walmart, Joann's, wherever you get fabric products from. I'm just laying this across my head. I let this sit for another like 10 minutes, just make sure the wig is nice and stuck so I don't have any lifting before I do my baby hairs. Now while my lace is laying, I'm gonna go ahead and take this moment to just kind of carve out my part. I know I want to do a little curved side part situation, so I'm just, you know, using my rat tail comb to carve that out, and I'm using my hot comb to help make sure I press out this new part. Now I'm just trying to map out where I want to place my baby hairs. I'm very basic when it comes to my baby hairs. I like them big, but a little bit of them. So I literally just do 2. Even if it's a frontal, I do 2, sometimes just 1. But once I figured out how I want my baby hairs to lay, I'm spraying some of that Ebin Lay spray onto the hair. It's going to help it just lay down more flat to make swooping easier. I'm just going in my tweezers to help bend the hair out a bit and to help thin out the part. But honestly, I overplucked. Side parts are not my best. I'm still trying to get that certain carved swoop side part. Y'all know the look. Y'all been seeing it. I'm still working my hardest to achieve that look, but that's a whole different ramble conversation for another time. I'm using my cuticle scissors again to help cut down those baby hairs and going in with some EcoStyler to help us swoop and lay them down. Once I was done my baby hairs, not like officially done, just done for now, I went ahead and wrapped my elastic band again on my lace to help just lay everything down. I also hold the wig in place while I do the styling process. I did cut a few light layers into this hair just to give it, you know, some movement, body. I love a good layer. I feel like layers just make the hair look a lot better. Like, don't be shy to get rid of all the extra dead weight. So I just went ahead and cut some face framing layers and gave the hair a little mini blunt chop, but not too much because I didn't want to shorten the hair given this was 18 inches. I didn't want to go any shorter. So here is me the next day because yeah, I was tired, okay? But this is me the next day going ahead and doing the styling. And for styling, I wanted to do the little bump ends. And when I say bump ends, I don't mean the bump ends our mom would give us when we got a relaxer and we're out here giving James Brown. No. I mean giving you Victoria's Secret hair editorial bump ends. And I'm just using my Remington 1-inch flat iron to curve all the way at the bottom and just, you know, flip those ends out. It's very simple, straightforward. You get the vibes. Bada bing, bada boom. She is looking luscious, gorgeous, easy breezy. And here we are with our finished look. This hair was so fun and honestly really easy to install. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to see you in another one. You know, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out, you naughty little possums. Goodbye. Clearly I've been watching too much Love Island, but goodbye, guys.